Hey, good day everyone. This is Lenal'S, and you are watching Lenal'S Thought. So for the episode 4 of our thoughts, we're going to discuss about the operating system. And alam ko naman na familiar kayo sa operating system kasi tinuro na sa atin to ng mga professors natin. But then again, let me introduce you again the operating system. Ayan. Next. So, what is an operating system? It's a software that acts as an interface between computer hardware, components, and user. Every computer system must have at least one operating system to run other programs. Applications like browsers, MS Office, Notepad, Note games, etc. need some environment to run and perform its task. So, kung makikita nyo, pinaka number one na operating system na ginagamit natin is yung Windows. And of course, yung Apple, like yung iOS, yun yung operating system ng Apple. And sa Windows naman is Windows. Next is operating systems helps you with. So, paano ba tayo natutulungan ng mga operating systems? So, the OS helps you to communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer's language. It is not possible for the user to use any computer or mobile device without having an operating system. So, hindi daw posible na makakagamit ka ng computer without the operating system itself. So, first, pinaka-requirement talaga ng paggawa ng computer or pag-build ng computer is yung operating system mismo. Is dapat kailangan legitimate and accessible dapat. Kagaya na sa Windows and sa Apple. Bukod sa Apple and sa Windows na operating system, meron din tayong Linux, Red Hat, mga Debian based, and yung mga yon is yung mga Red Hat and Debian based, yung mga Linux. Yung Linux kasi marami siyang variants, like nahati sa dalawa, like merong Red Hats and merong Debians. So Springfield napunta siya sa Red Hat, and yung Alka Linux or Kali Linux is napunta sa Debian based. Or baliktad yata. I think Red Hat ata yung Kali Linux and Debian ata yung Springfield. Basta yon. Next is the history of operating system. Operating systems were first developed in late 1950s to manage tape storage. The General Motors Research Lab implemented the first OS in the early 1950s for their IBM. So, familiar naman tayo sa device na IBM, 'di ba? And sa company na 'yan. So, based dun sa nakaraang subject namin, ang nakita ko is ang Linux daw is ginawa siya for to interact the computer or maging parang calculator siya para ma-support niya yung mga kailangan gawin, para mag-interact yung sa user and sa sa user and yung computer itself. So next is, in the mid-1960s, operating systems started to use disk. In the late 1960s, the first version of the Unix OS was developed. Ito yung sinasabi ko na dating pangalan ng Linux is Unix. So, ito yung sinasabi ko na nag-build sila ng OS for Unix para makapag-interact yung computer and dun sa tao. Next is, the first OS built by Microsoft was DOS. It was built in 1981 by purchasing the 86DOS software from a Seattle company. The present-day popular OS Windows first came to existence in 1985 when a GUI created and paired with MS-DOS. So, that's it. Yun yung yun yung history ng operating system natin. But then again, kung makikita nyo dito sa screen, ito yung mga list of popular operating system. Pinakauna dyan is Windows, Android, iOS, Mac OS, Linux, Chrome OS, Windows Phone OS. So kung mapapansin nyo, ang Windows is for OS for computer and Android is for operating system sa cellphone or mobile phones. iOS also is for mobile phones na kinatawag ng mga iPhone, iPad, and etc. Mac OS is for the MacBook na laptop nila, exclusive for Mac only. Apple for OS nila. Meron silang exclusive na operating system for their own devices. Linux is, ayan, yung sinabi ko kanina is ang dating pangalan niya is Unix. Chrome OS, Windows Phone OS. So kung mapapansin nyo, yung pinakamababa is, mababang share is yung itong 95, 14, and 06, which is yung Linux, Chrome OS, and Windows Phone OS kasi sila yung mga hindi na magaano kilala sa market. Itong Chrome OS, pwede siya sa cellphone or sa laptop, and then yung Windows Phone is meron ding mga meron akong nakikita mga Microsoft phones na dati sa mga classmates ko, and yung OS nila dun is kagaya lang din nung sa laptop na Windows or sa computer. Next is types of operating system. So ano nga ba mga types of operating system natin? Let me see. Batch operating system. So it says that some computer processes are very lengthy and time consuming. To speed the same process, a job with a similar type of needs are batched together and run as a group. The user of batch operating system never directly interacts with the computer. In this type of OS, every user prepares his or her job on an offline device like punch card and submit it to the computer operator. So yan dang batch operating system. Ito naman yung multitasking or time-sharing operating system. Time-sharing operating system enables people located at a different terminal or shell to use a single computer system at the same time. The processor time or CPU which is shared among multiple users is termed as time-sharing. Real-time operating system. So, a real-time operating system, time interval to process and respond to inputs is very small. Examples, military software system, space software systems, or the real-time OS example. So, ito yung real-time OS daw is for exclusive lamang para sa mga military services and sa mga spacecraft or like NASA, mga ganon. Kasi, sila yung mga pinakailangan talaga ng mga computer nowadays. Yeah, habang umuusbong ang ating mundo, patuloy na lumalago ang teknolohiya natin. Next is distributed operating system. So, distributed systems use many processors located in different machines to provide very fast computation to its users. So, ito yung sinasabi ko na para mapadali yung work ng individual, kailangan nila ng computer like cashier para hindi na mano-mano yung pagsusukle. Next is network operating system. Network operating system runs on a server. It provides the capability to serve to manage data, user groups, security, application, and other networking functions. Next is the mobile OS. So ito yung iOS and Androids. Meron din mga BlackBerry, Web, and Watch OS. So mobile operating systems are those operating systems which is especially that are designed to power smartphones, tablets, and wearable devices. So kung mapapansin nyo, pare-parehas ang mga operating system ng mga Mac and ng Windows. So, ang Windows is, meron silang mga phone pero hindi naman gaano kalago sa market. But, ang pinaka-popular talaga na operating system is Windows nga. Ayan. And, kung ang pagbabasehan ay pagiging rich kid, ang pinaka talaga rito is yung iOS na operating system. So, some most famous mobile operating systems are Android, like what I've said earlier, and iOS. But others include BlackBerry, Web, and Watch OS. So, yung BlackBerry phase out na siya ngayon sa market. So, minimal na lang yung mga kakaroon ng mga cellphone na mga ganito. And, ngayon ko lang nalaman na meron palang sariling operating system ang BlackBerry. Kasi I thought Android ang BlackBerry, but yeah. Yun. So, functions of operating system. So, what are the functions? So, the function of the operating system is the process management. First is Process managements help OS to create and delete processes. It also provides mechanism for synchronization and communication among processes. Next is memory management. Ay. Memory management. Memory management module performs the task of allocation and deallocation of memory space to programs it needs of these resources. Next is the file management. It manages all the file-related activities such as organization, storage, retrieval, naming, sharing, and protection of files. Device management. Device management keeps track of all devices. This module, also responsible for this task, is known as the I/O controller. It also performs the task of allocation and deallocation of the devices. Next is the I/O system management. One of the main objects of any OS is to hide the peculiarities of that hardware devices from the user. So ito yung parang tinatago sa atin kung ano yung pwedeng makasira dun sa laptop para hindi natin siya magalaw. So secondary storage management. Systems have several levels of storage, which includes primary storage, secondary storage, and cache storage. Instructions that data must be stored in primary storage or cache is that running program can reference it. So familiar naman tayo sa primary storage, secondary storage, and cache storage. So, security. Security module protects the data and information of a computer system against malware, threat, and authorized access. So, kung mapapansin nyo sa mga Windows operating system, mayroon silang Windows Defender. So, yun yung security nila to avoid the malware, threat, and unauthorized access sa laptop natin para hindi rin tayo mapasukan ng virus. So, command interpretation. This module is interpreting commands given by the end acting system resources to process that commands. Networking. Distributed system is a group of processors which do not share memory, hardware devices, or clock. The processor communicate with one another through the network. So, next is communication management. Coordination and assignment of compilers, interpreters, and other software resources of the various users of the computer systems. Ayan. Next is the advantages of operating system. So, kung ano nga ba yung mga advantages nito? Allows you to hide details or hardware by creating an abstraction. Easy to use with the GUI. Offers an environment in which a user may execute programs or applications. The operating system must make sure that the computer system convenient to use. Operating system acts as an intermediary among applications and hardware components. It provides the computer system resources with easy-to-use format. Acts as an intermediator between all hardwares and softwares of the system. Yan yung mga advantages ng ating operating system. But meron tayong mga disadvantages. So, ano nga ba yung mga yon? If any issue occurs in OS, you may lose all the contents which have been stored in your system. So, yun lang yung pangit kasi pag nasira yung operating system mo, is lahat ng files mo is mawawala doon sa mismong system or doon sa mismong CPU. Operating system software is quite expensive for small-size organization which adds burden on them. Example, Windows. So next is it is never entirely secure as a threat can occur at any time. So that's the disadvantages of operating system. So to sum it all up, ano nga ba yung OS? It is a type of operating system is a software which acts as an interface between end user and computer hardware. Different categories of operating system in computer and other devices are batch operating system, multitasking or time-sharing OS, multiprocessing OS, real-time OS, distributed OS, network OS, and mobile OS. Personal computer operating system were first developed in the late 1950s to manage the tape storage. Explain operating system working is operating system works as an intermediate between the user and computer. It helps the user to communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer's language. The kernel is the central component of a computer operating system. The only job itself is to perform by the kernel is to manage the communication between the software and the hardware. Most popular kernels are monolithic and microkernels. Process device, file, I/O, secondary storage, memory management are the various functions of an operating system. So, yun lamang. Thank you for listening and kita-kits ulit tayo sa Lenal'S Thoughts. Thank you.